dfcradio.com.
So high. Roll up that hydro make me feel fine. Roll up that hydro make me feel fine. Cook up that hydro make me feel high. Feeling so high. Roll up that hydro make me feel fine. Roll up that hydro make me feel fine. Cook up that hydro.
Yes,
hydro
welcome.
make me feel
It is I,
high.
says me, your culinary cannabis ambassador to everything cannabis in the edible world. This is the Hydroponic Chef. Welcome to Farm to Table Cannabis. It's Wednesday. We're going to be all up in your ear for the next hour. You can play me in your kitchen. You can play me in your car. Just don't try to play me in real life. So we got a good show for you lined up today. In the studio, none other than is Tim McGraw himself from Canna-Hub.
Hello.
Right. And we've also got Manja Ganja in the studio. We're going to be reviewing some edibles, and we're talking about some catering, maybe some cannabis cooking techniques. So everybody welcome Ivan and Ann to the studio for their first time.
Thank you so much.
Thanks. It's good to be here.
So we are the only show offering you edible reviews, cooking demos, and product reviews and giveaways. So as we start the show, we say start off 562-653-0707 is the phone number. Call in now. You don't have to pay anything but attention, and you can get hooked up. We like to keep you up to date on current events, and we've also got another guest that's going to be calling in after the news segment, and everybody get ready for the Chanel from My Edible Chef. And but we start you off with the news every week, and we're going to take you out to Michigan, where these Michigan companies will gift you cannabis until the real pot stores open. All right. So thanks to Michigan voters, marijuana is now legal for recreational use, but it's not for sale in any stores yet. Fortunately, the magical entity that Republicans are always praising, the market that has come up with a solution, it just requires a lot of wrinkling and nudging. That's because under the new law, it's perfectly legal for an adult over the age of 21 to gift another adult cannabis. Officially, the law permits giving away or otherwise transferring without recommendation remunification up to 2.5 ounces of marijuana, except that not more than 15 grams of marijuana may be in the form of marijuana concentrate. So to a person 21 years of age or older, as long as the transfer is not adversely promoted to the public. So what people are doing is it's buy a t-shirt, get a free gram of cannabis. Donate to my art studio, get a free gram of cannabis.
That's like
That's all the workaround, man. That's all it is.
Didn't Chong do that with the bongs? Remember, he was like, "Buy my bong, and then by the way, this pound's free."
Well, they do that with seeds too. They'll send you a sticker,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
you're happy to get seeds with it.
So
from
it's like
Holland.
where there's a will, there's a way.
Yeah,
That's
sure.
what we see.
Or the colored seeds. There you go. They're souvenirs now.
You can buy my tie-dye, man. This is my tie-dye, man. Get some free weed, man. So Canada, good news up in Canada, right? Because they got all the legalization going on, and we wonder how the black market's doing. So Canada legalized pot in October, but its black market is still killing it. So a few blocks, when the government launched Canada's official recreational pot market on October 17th, it was banking on the idea that many users would prefer to buy legally and that the black market would quickly begin to fade. Well, that was unlikely. It says that things seem not to be on track. Early reports that 65% reduction of illegal cured products, and according to a spokeswoman from the Ministry of Cannabis, they said that in a national poll, IP30s conducted for Global News a month after legalization, more than a third of Canadian cannabis users said that they were still buying from their regular dealers and hadn't even tried the legal system. 5 illegal sellers in Quebec told the Washington Post that their sales might even be slightly up. I just want to know who they're interviewing for these things. Hey, what's up? You sell illegal weed? Hey, can we interview you for the Quebec Post?
Dude, the market there is so goofy. It's a huge country, and the populations are so centered in like 4 places: Vancouver, Toronto, Ontario, and wherever else.
And
The
it's
rest of
spaced the fuck out.
yeah, the
too.
rest of it's a forest.
Like the fact, like you should be growing your own out there. Just saying.
There's
you
like
know?
30 million people in that entire country. There's 39 million people here in California.
And from a place that's spaced out to a place that's not so spaced out and been really hard on cannabis for a while. Arizona's Supreme Court will finally hear a concentrate case. After months of agonizing Arizona's medical marijuana community, they finally learned that the Arizona Supreme Court has agreed to hear the infamous Rooney Jones concentrate case, which will determine whether cannabis concentrates produced are considered protected under the AMMA, the Arizona Medical Marijuana Act. Expected oral arguments. I almost thought that was something else. Expect something else. Expect oral arguments in March to await the final verdict from the Rudy Jones case. The fate of the cannabis concentrate products and the future of Arizona's entire medical marijuana industry is kind of on the cap waiting on that. So just to let you know what's going on, the Jones case began in 2013 when Rooney Jones, a medical marijuana patient in Prescott area, and he was arrested with concentrate in addition to flowers. And Jones also had furnished when arrested. Despite having a medical card, the county attorney said that the state's leading anti-cannabis prosecutors charged Jones with a Class 4 narcotics possession felony and found guilty in other charges. So Jones went to prison but appealed the guilty verdict for the hashish. So according to the Arizona Medical Marijuana Act, he passes me the joint, tells me to stop reading so fast.
There you go. You got to get that hit in.
As the months have dragged on, they're finally getting an answer on this. So we're hoping that Arizona gets this shit straightened out soon, and then we can actually have that good concentrate legally in Arizona. Because right now it's all black market. When you get black market concentrate, you know what you get?
Oh, you're getting
Butane
solvent.
soup.
Yeah, exactly.
Poop soup.
Solvent and pesticides mixed with some THC.
So that was the news according to the Hydro Chef. And
Yeah.
we've got a good show. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and we're going to be right back with Chanel from My Edible Chef. Calling from Canada.
DFZradio.com. Call in 562-653-0707. 562-653-0707.
I'm laughing at her. She's trying to roll. Can't roll a split for life. Said, truth be told. I said, good morning to you. What's up? It's coffee in the kitchen. Pour me a cup. Two sugars and a wake and bake. 2 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 sugars and a wake and bake.
2 sugars and a wake and bake. I stuff the joint with my shoelace. I'm on the ground straight making cake. I smoke something to get my mind straight. A good look, I can forget your face. I really want you to come through my place. You sent a text and said I'm on my way. Getting late, I think that you should stay. 2 sugars and a wake and bake, but this time it's the very next day. From my window you can see the whole bay. They can't do it like me, no way. 3's up for that HBK, and it's rich city, nigga, not V8, where we need our money on time, not late, and we on the grind like every day. So it's 2 sugars and a wake and bake. That's what helps me relax my mind. Everything in slow motion, happening in due time. You not about that life, man, you lying. Right stuff alright, my mind is on Zion. I be so high, touch clouds as I'm climbing 30,000 feet, yeah, that's my climate.
2 sugars and a wake and bake. 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 2 sugars and a wake and bake.
I smoke 2 joints to the face. I love the way it tastes. Man, I'm on. I blow OG and lemon tree. The joint's on me, and it's too damn strong. Look, I don't really share, and I don't really care if I smell like weed when I put it in the air. I'm a California bear, West Coast cure, fresh wax joint got me stuck on the chair. My stash look mean, my glass so clean. Roll big joints, white ash only. Yeah, me and Sue get stoned and laugh. And the S-Class Benz on hash. Plant a seed, let the weed grow. Hit the crowd, burn an ounce up. I'm on diesel, I'm in NY. Boy, I been high in the club with 24 pre-rolls. Oh my, don't blow my high. Me and Kylie both know why. The good herb, why I need to be free. So vote legal in 216. Wake up and take a hit like me. 2 sugars and black coffee. Yeah, I get stoned in the AM. Fuck the club, roll up and stay in. Go.
2 sugars and a wake and bake. 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 2 sugars and a wake and bake.
Welcome back. DFZ Radio, Farm to Table Cannabis. We got Saint on the soundboard. Thank you, Saint, for making me look good every week.
Yeah,
Appreciate
thank
that.
you for my acknowledgement right now.
Should we just stroke each other for the next 5 minutes? Thank you for being such a swell guy, man.
I tell
Well,
Sam
we
every
got
time
these
I see
great
him.
guests here. I think we need to.
All right,
you
so let's
know.
keep the show moving. So, speaking about how making things look good, we got Chanel from My Edible Chef, and if you don't know about what's going on at My Edible Chef, then we're gonna tune in here to Chanel, and we're gonna tell you what's going on here. So, welcome to Farm to Table Cannabis, Chanel. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Welcome. So, introduce yourself first of all.
Yep, I am My Edible Chef, or Your Edible Chef, if you want to put it that way. Yeah, I'm from Vancouver, BC, in Canada, and just trying to find my space in the cannabis industry.
Now, you've put together an awesome site, and that's one of the first things that caught my eye with your Instagram was your pictures, and you also put the recipes out there. So that's a pretty unique situation that you've got going. So cannabis just went legal in Canada, and now you can, they actually encourage you to cook your own edibles. So that's kind of, you found your own niche in there. So how have you made your way in this, newly legalized space, and what are you doing to promote yourself?
Yeah, so cannabis is recreationally legal now, but edibles are still illegal until about October 17th, they say, this year. But making your own is not. So I've been to enough 420 festivals to see that there is a lack of quality edibles. So through my platform, I'm just trying to teach people to make their own edibles and use quality ingredients and just give them the methods to make it look pretty as well.
Well, that's one of the things, too, is you don't just make the food, you make the food look good here, too. And when it comes to some of these methods for infusing, it's not just the same old thing. So if you don't mind, we're going to go over one of the recipes. And, like, the adobo chicken is one of the recipes you got on your guys' website. And the myediblechef.com is where it's at. You can learn about the cooking. You guys even offer cooking classes. But let's go over some of the techniques. What's your preferred method when you're doing the adobo infused chicken?
Well, that one is a cannabis coconut oil. So that would keep it like dairy free. So I like to try and please everyone by doing, vegan recipes, dairy free, gluten free. There's ones that use distillate, so you don't have as much taste of cannabis. I just try to mix it up a bit for everyone.
So some of this stuff looks like it might even be classically trained. Where did you get your culinary background?
So I'm actually a Red Seal pastry chef. I went to school at Vancouver Community College and did 3 years there. But I did a bit of training in South France for culinary. But other than that, I'm all self-taught for the culinary part.
Well, that's quite impressive. So would you focus mainly on the sweets, but I see a lot of these recipes are savory. So is the savoring something that you had to adapt to, or did it come pretty second nature?
I do love to cook at home, so it's not quite secondary, but definitely baking is my stronger suit. So that's why I tend to do more sweets.
Nice. So when it comes to the cooking classes, how do you set something up like that, and how does someone attend it?
So right now I'm just offering private lessons, so one-on-one or two-on-one. I just have a very small kitchen at the moment. But I am talking to some people in Vancouver to try and find a bigger space to offer a group setting, and then I may be partnering with another company back east that would like some chefs out in Vancouver to start hosting classes as well.
Yeah. So when it comes to the networking with other chefs out there, what have you learned? Like, what's it like to bring some of the talent of all these people together?
So mainly I just like to connect with them, and then I like to learn about them as well. And then I've given them a platform to tell everyone a little bit about themselves so they can connect with chefs in their area as well. I tried to start like a networking group, but it didn't quite work as planned. That's originally how I got started with all of this.
And that turned into the website, or was the website a byproduct of that?
Posts.
Did that turn into the website, or was the website kind of a byproduct of that?
The website was always a plan, but it did start with a Facebook group originally.
All right, that's unique. Everyone's networking out there. So when it comes to your ingredients, are you procuring your own ingredients? Are you actually growing? How do you get your
yes,
product
yeah.
without
We have our own
salting out your dealer?
Sorry, you're cutting out a little bit.
Oh, I said you grow your own then?
Yes.
Ah, right on, right on. So we got to ask, what kind of strains do you like to cook with?
Well, one of the ones that we have right now is Ambrosia, which is pretty good. It's up from northern BC, so that's kind of the one I've been using a lot lately. But I do have a post about like top 16 strains to cook with on the blog if anyone wants to look that one up.
Yeah, and that's another thing that's included. So you got the connection to the edible cooking classes. You've got the recipes on there, but you've also got the forum, which brings everyone together where they can chat.
Yeah. It's not too active right now, but the website is less than a year old, so I'm hoping that eventually that will grow.
Well, we dig what you're doing, and we like to, shine a spotlight on people doing it for the right. And you're out of Canada, too. You're one of the few people out there doing it like that, so shout out to you. And is there any event you're going to be at upcoming that you want to promote?
I'm not personally going to be the main event at any of them, but I am going to the Lift Expo this weekend in Vancouver, and I'm also going to the Vanderpop Women in Weed event as well.
That's right. And, Lift is a huge event. If everyone doesn't know about that event in Canada, that is like the premier cannabis event.
Yeah, it's a 4-day thing here.
So will you be vending there, or will you just be just walking the show?
No, I'm just going to be networking with the people that are there.
Well, right on. We salute you, and we appreciate what you do for the edible industry in Canada. And thanks for being your inaugural time on here with the hydroponic chef and the rest of the crew. And I see everyone over here just hanging out. You guys got any questions for Chanel out of Canada? We just want to make sure we get every last second in for this Cannabis Chef Roundtable. So, Chanel, we appreciate you. We salute you. And thanks for calling in, and thanks for being a guest this evening.
Thanks so much for having me on. I really appreciate it.
Ciao. All right, so we like to shine a spotlight on our chefs of the week, and that's upcoming out of Canada. So keep an eye out there for My Edible Chef. Now, without further ado, we're gonna have to play a commercial because I'm gonna get some carnitas ready for this edible review that we're about to do with Manja Ganja. And I see Ann looking over here. She's like, we're gonna get right here on the studio. We're getting lit. So get ready, Farm to Table Cannabis.
Yeah.
We're reviewing edibles. Call in now, 562-653-0707.
Got me smoking the best, no stress cheese. Now hold up, and roll up. Check the situation, about to go nuts. With a little bit of perp up in my cup. You could tell the bartender to fill it on up. That's alright, baby, work your stuff. And that's all night, baby, work your strut. You and your friends can ride when I go. Take a little spin in my Monte Carlo. Take a little dip, baby, show you how I roll. Take a little hit, baby, puff on the hydro. Eyes so lit, make me look like my eyes closed. Purple Drake mix, make me look like my eyes glow. Hypno Grey Goose with a little grape juice. That's how it is, so I'ma have to take some diesel in my blood. Purple Drake in my cup, someone tell the DJ, crank it on up. Side diesel in my blood, purple Drake in my cup, someone tell the DJ, crank it on up. Yeah, crank it up, crank it up, crank it up. Sour diesel up in my blood, my brain. Purple Drake up in my cup, crank it up, crank it on up. It's the ADX team with no dot in between, and we stay fresh and clean when we hop on the scene, and we style on them, profile on them. If they wanna act crazy, then we wild on them. It's the S to the T and that Cambo G, either Maserati blue or the Lambo green, and that Chevy lay mean when it drop on the street, either hating on you or they hating on me. And it's shaved up, raised up. Drop it to the flow, got them blades that stay tough. And the candy on the bike, same color as sour. Catch me on the site 100 miles per hour. This is my life, so this ain't ours. So I stay tight, so this is power. With the ADX team, you can call us some brave hearts. Sour diesel trees, you can call it the trademark. Sour diesel in my blood, people drink in my cup. Someone tell the DJ, crank it on up. Sour diesel in my blood, people drink in my cup. Someone tell the DJ, crank it on up. Yeah, crank it up, crank it up. Crank it up. Sour diesel up in my blood, my brain. Purple drink up in my cup. Crank it up, crank it on up. West Coast, crank it on up. East Coast, crank it on up. Midwest, crank it on up. Down south, crank it on up. Yeah, crank it up, crank it up. Sour diesel up in my blood, my brain. Purple drink up in my cup. Crank it up, crank it on.
ST, DJ Dale, Big Bell, Killer P, Chill with the
All right, we're back. Shout out to our sponsors. Thank you, Magical Butter Machine. Call in now, 562-653-0707, General Hydroponics. And speaking of General Hydroponics, we're going to highlight our product of the week. We've got the General Hydroponics Ripen. So this is a PK booster. This is a late bloom booster. This is going to help with building your structure of your late bloom flowers. It's also going to help initiate some resin and some oil production. This product right here contains a perfect blend of micro and macro nutrients that's going to help trigger the oils, resins, and a plump bloom. So, General Hydroponics Ripen, it's yours if you call in 562-653-0707.
Yeah. Get it.
So I like to call this next segment Dinner on the Radio. So I'm hanging out here with none other than Ann and Ivan from Manja Ganja, and look what they have brought me. So tell me about this barbecue. So first of all, tell me about Manja Ganja, you guys.
Manja Ganja was created, I guess, about 2 years ago. I had some health issues, and our in their 20s kids had said, "Look, you need to start looking at cannabis as a way of being able to heal some of these physical ailments that you're experiencing." And I didn't consume a lot when I was a kid, and I thought, well, I'm not really open. I'm going to wait and be one of the later adopters of getting into cannabis. But we tried it, and it worked, and so now I'm one of the stronger proponents of.
Not always a believer, but a convert.
Yeah, absolutely.
So a true cannabis convert.
For sure.
Now, when it came to your first time experiencing it, what was that like? And there's got to be a lot of stigma into like people trying edibles for the first time.
Exactly. So there were a couple different experiences that were really kind of fun. But
we had a lot of them. But
we grabbed a couple from our kids, and they said that they were about 10 milligrams per. And this is back when there wasn't any real regulation on how much was going to be infused. And I think a lot of people were creating edibles that maybe had a lot more than.
Well, they weren't homogenized for the most part.
You never knew
what you were
getting.
It was like caramel swirl. Yeah, you could get one that was 5 milligrams, one that was 200.
Oh, yeah.
I only ate the corner of a brownie.
Yeah.
Everything was in that corner.
Yeah, exactly.
So we had 2 gummies. They were 10 milligrams each. So Ann had one. I had one. We did a mobile order on Starbucks and went down to the store to pick it up. And so we pull up into our parking space, and we're both staring at our phones. And we looked at each other and we said, "How long have we been sitting here?"
So the people in Starbucks are looking at us and pointing like, "Do you want to get out of your car and come get this?"
Your
And they're
drinks are
pointing
ready.
Yeah. So we lost a little bit of time there on that one.
And so from there, you learned about microdosing.
So from there, we learned about microdosing
Right.
and being able to spread that out over the course of a meal. And so we usually start an engagement with maybe a CBD terpene type of a drink, a beverage that pairs nicely with the food that we're going to have. And then we'll slowly, gradually add THC into our meal in a microdosed fashion. So over the course of a meal, you might get 15, 20 milligrams, unless you've requested to have more. And then we'll finish with a dessert that typically has CBD in it as well.
Now, these dishes you're doing, these aren't just you and Ann hanging out at home eating good every night. These are dishes that are offered to people through your website, Manja Ganja.
Right.
And you do have and products on the way too.
Right.
You want to, if you don't mind, I'm going to introduce the world to this product and have a sample of it while you talk about it.
Yeah, please. So things are still very fluid in California regarding the regulations and laws of cannabis. And like My Edible Chef was saying, in Canada, it's recreational to be able to smoke and consume cannabis, but you can't have it in edibles. You can't eat gummies and other foods. So we run into the same kind of problem here in California as well. It's very expensive for us because we fall into all of the different categories that are pricey for coming up with licensing. And
we're a distributor, we're a delivery person, we're the manufacturer because we're taking cannabis, putting it in the foods that we become a manufacturer. So because of the laws being the way that they are, we've been cooking with cannabis and doing events legally for over a year now. And everybody said, we love your food. We would eat it infused or not infused. So Wood's Kitchen was born, and that's the other side of our business. All the same great handcrafted food without the infusion.
So is that where the bourbon barbecue sauce started with, was the Wood's Kitchen?
It started actually as with Manja Ganja.
Right.
We would bring it to events infused.
You make these sauces, obviously?
We do.
Yeah.
So there's 2 of them? What are they?
We have 3 sauces now. We have our bourbon barbecue sauce, we have our tequila tomatillo sauce, and then we have a mojito mustard sauce.
So I'm trying this barbecue bourbon sauce right now, and
Where's
this
mine?
thing is tangy, and I'm being kind of stingy. I've seen Tim look over here several times. The last person to try to snatch some food off my plate lost a finger.
Oh, my God. I'm high.
And I'm an edible guy, too, so I'll eat it all as long as it's medicated. But this one right here, it's microdosing, again, so 120 milligrams for the entire bottle, which
Right.
means you've got a lot of control per teaspoon in that.
Per tablespoon.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or reducing it down to a teaspoon. But a tablespoon seemed to be a pretty standard dosage size for people, and so that's what we brought it down to.
And that's why I like sauces, because you have the control to add to it. I mean, don't get me wrong, I like marinating, and how we talked to Chef Chanel earlier and the way that she infuses the food with butters and coconut oils. But I think that when you have the sauce and you add it afterwards, it gives that element of optional cannabis infused. And I'm sure with the catering, do you find yourself people requesting that a lot more than just full floating edible everything?
We do, and in fact, we get a lot of people that come to our events that don't necessarily want to consume it all. And so we have options of uninfused sauces and these sauces that for people who want to do a little lower dosing, and then you could add more, to get that level that you are looking for. So one of the reasons our events are so successful is because everybody can come, and you're not just served a plate and here you've got to eat all this infusion. You kind of can cater your own dinner.
If you want to get higher, just drink more sauce.
Yeah.
Just kidding. I would have like the gravy ladle,
just
drinking
saucing
sauce,
it
just
up.
eating sauce.
Tim's drinking the sauce again, Ann. So call in now, 562-653-0707. You can ask some questions to Manja Ganja in the Woods Kitchen. Ann and Ivan are in the studio, and then Tim's hanging out. We're going to be talking Canna-Hub here in a minute. So when you do these events, is it easier because it's private to do the medicated events, or is it something about going legal that's going to make it easier in the future? What do you think? Because really, it's legal when you have your own dinner party and Medicaid. There's nothing wrong with that.
Well, that's true, as long as you're not, as long as we are not charging an individual guest fee, then it's...
No, you get a free fucking T-shirt, remember? Canna-Hub T-shirt.
It's an expensive T-shirt.
That's right. That's right.
I got some extra shirts for you.
So if you were to hire us to come over and cook an infused meal for you, and for 30 of your friends, you could provide us with the cannabis. We could infuse an oil or a butter, or we could use an RSO that you would provide to us. And then you would have 30 of your best friends come over and have a really wonderful meal. What changes is that if you said, hey, I want to have friends come over for a cannabis-infused meal, and let's charge them $20 a head or per plate for them to come in and enjoy this meal, then it becomes a real gray area.
So get your friends high, cool. Charge your friends to get high, dude, you're kind of a dick.
That's it. That's exactly right.
So with this cannabis, comes the stigma. So what do your fucking neighbors think of you? When everyone shows up and the parking gets crazy and everyone walks out all happy and they didn't get invited?
Yeah, it's a really great question. We have neighbors next door. I'm not going to mention any names, but the dad of this husband and wife and their kids that live there. The dad and his wife are live in another part of California, and he had experienced some colon issues over the last couple of years and had surgery and was on a ton of different opioids to help him with his pain and recovering from the surgery. And he was feeling like he was getting addicted. So we put some tinctures together. We made him some food that was microdosed, and he was able to wean himself off of this. He still needed to get tinctures, though, so we had to get them to him since he doesn't live in this particular area. The daughter, she had a hernia, and so she came over and she said, "Can you help us? I'm dealing with a lot of pain issues. Can
So
you
we have
give
the
me a
whole
tincture?"
family coming over for cannabis.
Damn you.
But
She's
neither-
converted the entire
Yes,
family.
yeah.
But neither of them knew
Yeah.
what the other was doing.
Yeah, so
Which
we're
was really
helping
It's a
one
family
person,
affair.
one
It's a
neighbor at a
family.
time.
So
That's
you're
right.
passionate about it. You're doing it for all the
Yeah,
right
yeah.
reasons.
Amazing.
We love
And
helping people feel
Yeah.
better, for sure.
What's the next event?
You know, we're doing some small events around town in San Diego. We're actually launching a little healing cannabis yoga events at our home, and doing some brunches, lunches, and things like that, all with some Reiki healing and things like that. So that's kind of the next series going on next month. But in between, we have a lot of local events going on.
A lot of local events, and because we've just launched this Woods Kitchen product line, we're really kind of ramping up. We've got 3,000 bottles in our garage, and
Yeah,
we
we
keep
have some work
taking
to
them
do.
over to the commercial kitchen we use and filling them there and getting them out to farmers markets and making sure that we've got representation there as well as representation.
Yeah, we do
with
everything
Manja Ganja.
handcrafted in small batches, so we can't, we're doing it every couple of weeks, and so
Before we cut to this commercial break, tell me what's your infused method for this sauce. I know the barbecue sauce is great because it's going on this biscuit that I have with the pork on there. And now I'm going to do a taco with some of this tequila and tomatillo sauce, which is non-medicated. But tell
Right.
me about the barbecue sauce.
So the barbecue sauce, we took some...
Tim, stop looking at my goddamn food.
Dude, I'm hungry.
so he wants.
There's more in the green room. I'm the only one that can eat in the studio. Everyone else gets to eat in the green room. Oh, I got a lot of sauce there. Huh, they call me the sauce boss.
I want to see the expression.
Damn, that's so good, make you kick a puppy. That does not suck, dude.
No, it doesn't. And and it's fun because it's different. There's lots of there are lots of different salsas that are out there that have tomatillos, but there aren't any dressings that I've found that have tomatillos. And
Or,
so that-
it has a little smoke flavor in it, so you can use it as a condiment.
yeah, so we call that a slow smoky ride south of the border.
And it's got a little finish with some smoke. It's
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah,
Right.
yeah.
So, manjaganja.com, The Woods Kitchen.
That's right.
Get your custom catering. And then we had these vegan cookies, you guys.
Vegan and
These
gluten-free.
Gluten-free vegan cookies before they came in. I'm lit, even though I'm microdosing and taking dabs. It's all starting to add up. But you got to check them out on Manja Ganja on Instagram.
Yeah.
You got to check them out and get them doing your catering. I mean, the sky's the limit for you guys. Your food's amazing. You're
Thank you.
doing great things. We appreciate you coming here and letting us try your food, letting us try your sauce,
Thank
and
you.
let us finally get to talk to you. It was an honor to meet you at the Canna Spa over at the Cannabis.
Yep, culinary
Culinary and Cannabis
Yeah.
and the Canna Chef Showdown,
Yeah.
which I took down that day. I
Yeah.
feel
You
like I
did.
got a little bit of good luck ever since I got some of that barbecue
Yeah.
sauce from you guys. So
All right.
thank you again.
Thanks for having us.
And just hang out for a few with us. We're going to talk
Okay.
to Tim from Canna-Hub.
Absolutely.
And, we'd love for you guys to kick it for a minute.
Yeah,
Thanks
and
for
it's
having us.
MangiaGhanja. Manja
Is he
Ganja.
having a seizure? Oh, no. He said Manja Ganja.
Well, it's a little different spelling, so we want to make sure your listeners knew. All right. Thanks
God
for
bless.
having us.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Hang
you.
out.
Oh, and that's Manja_Ganja on Instagram.
Thank you. Yes.
I want to do a shot of that barbecue sauce.
Jesus through a burning bush. So like the Mary Jane before you learn this hook. Conversations with a queen that's a smoker. Blowing love and lightened by the weed you brought over. I leaned a little closer and told her.
Small world we're living in, rock set in stone. One life I've been living in. Come on, let's go. I wanna get high, I wanna get low. Come on, I wanna smoke a little split with you. I wanna get high, I wanna get low. Come on, I wanna smoke a little split with you.
Estábamos en México por la playa de Cancún Iba caminando yo con el negrito dum dum.
Entonces empezamos a enrular marihuana. Esta es una planta natural, no es mala. Dios la puso aquí para nosotros fumarla. Hay que legalizarla hasta el cáncer lo sana.
Hear me now, hay que prenderlo, hay que encenderlo. No quiero que digas no, Babylon. Te soy sincero, buena te quiero, escucha lo que digo yo. I wanna get high, I wanna get low. Come on, I wanna smoke a little split with you. I wanna get high, I wanna get low. Come on, I wanna smoke a little split with you. Lord knows I'm not a fool, I'm just crazy for you. I can feel it in the way things go. Lord, what I do. I wanna get high, I wanna get low. Come on, I wanna smoke a little split with you. I wanna get high, I wanna get low. Come on, I wanna smoke a little split with you. Smoking love, smoking love, yeah, you know. Well, everything is alright, girl, well, you know, when I'm smoking with you. Whoa, it's been a little time inside, put it up, girl, you know what to do. I wanna get high over the moon, on the left side, passing over to you, on the low. Everything is alright, girl, well, you know, when I'm smoking with you. Give me that good high grade, that Bob Marley strain, we make you feel no pain, you know. This smoke I feel me brain, listen to my octane, you know me nah go change, you know. Let's sip some good champagne and pop some good champagne, I hope you feel the same, you know. And girl, don't play no games because you know what I'm talking about. I wanna get high, baby, let's go. Come on, I wanna smoke a big spliff with you. I wanna get high, baby, let's go. Come on, I wanna smoke a big spliff with you, cause you're my smoking love.
DFZRadio.com.
Yo, it's BKJ on Team King, and you listening to DFZ Radio. What?
DFZRadio.com.
Launch crew, ready to reservoir.
What's the load factor, sir?
Bringing the Riser Blast liquid at 2 mils per gallon.
Okay, sir. We are loaded and ready to launch.
10, 9.
Okay, men. It's time to blast off into the plant's root zone and into another galaxy of root growth.
Rhizoblast is a proprietary blend of seaweed and the single-celled algae chlorella. Chlorella's abundance of amino acids and minerals contribute to its value in hydroponics. The benefits used in Rhizoblast are explosive root growth, the use with any growing medium or hydro system, its ideal use for transplanting, and the enhancement of your plant vigor in fast-flowering plants. Let your plants have a blast and see a world of a difference with Rhizoblast from Botanicare. Check it out at www.botanicare.com.
DFZRadio.com.
DFZ Radio, Farm to Table Cannabis. We're back live in the studio. We got Manja Ganja. We got the Canna-Hub in studio. So, normally we're about medicating responsibly, but right now, me and Tim, get over here. Get on camera, man. So if you guys don't know, this is Tim McGraw from Canna-Hub. Canna-Hub is a multifaceted company that can help you not just get into the industry, but stay compliant, turnkey operation for grows, and really it's about just everything in one spot. But we're going to get to that in a minute. before we even let Tim talk to us, he made a suggestion that maybe we take a shot of this Manja Ganja barbecue sauce. And, you know, us being the edible review show that we are, who would we be if we didn't take a shot of some of our guest product? Who am I to say no to a good time? Everyone. So I poured 4 just because I don't know how many challengers we might have, but whoever keeps it down is probably gay.
Jay's like, let me get one.
Shay, you're getting it.
Yeah, let me get one.
So call in now, 562-653-0707. We might even have a shot of sauce with you. So cheers to Manja Ganja.
Cheers.
Oh, that was hard to do. That was harder than I thought.
That was slow.
Oh, damn, babe. I don't know how you do that.
That's good.
Yeah, isn't that good?
Have another one?
That's good sauce.
Awesome.
Delicious.
All right, so Manja Ganja is officially hydroponic chef approved. Now, Tim and Gus are here from Canna-Hub. That spice is not the bourbon that's getting me right now.
What's going on?
And so, Gus, how do you get... what's a nice guy like you doing around a rat like this?
I've known this guy a while.
Yeah, you know, Tim and I actually have known each other from the Illinois market when he was, he opened up a grow in Illinois, and I came from a packaging background. I was a packaging specialist for the cannabis industry for about 6 years, helping people write regulations for states that were emerging, and also selling some of the compliant packaging as well. So I've known him for a while. I've been in sales for quite a while, and you know, we've finally got the team up, and I'm pretty happy to be part of the team now.
Now, what's unique about this is, Tim, you bring a lot of talent together, and that's a unique situation there because there's a lot of egos in this cannabis industry and growing and everything. So let's talk about a little bit about your background and coming from East out here and what it's like to bring all this talent together.
It's definitely a different perspective for sure. You know, I have all the respect for the OGs and the outlaws, the guys out west that did it for a long time and we had to worry about going to prison for it. But I came up in the regulated market where everything has been scrutinized. You know, testing and pesticide, the use of pesticides, all that stuff I've gone through already. I've seen it, so I know what regulation does to the market. And one of the first things you have to worry about is, like we talked about earlier, is your local zoning and compliance. I mean, you have to have all those licenses: manufacturing, distribution, cultivation. And if you're doing multiple things, you need multiple licenses. It's expensive. So we help operators save a ton of money by bringing all those license types to one place, one campus. So we have operators that have 4 or 5 different licenses across the whole spectrum, from nursery, tissue culture, all the way through distribution and retail.
But you've also lined up not just that, but the electricity, the actual fundamental, the foundation has already been set. Now, it's never been a worse time to get into the industry if you don't have your ducks in a row. Like mediocrity, like that shit will no longer be accepted.
Yeah, if you're especially cultivation, it's really, really expensive to operate in a regulated environment. It's just a fact. And it's an unfortunate fact, but California wasn't that prepared for it. And it's been a shock to a lot of people how expensive it is to get off the ground. I mean, it's 7 figures, no matter what you're doing. You need $1 million, so don't bother. That's the kind of market it is. And it's the guys with the money right now, unfortunately, are going to be able to dominate for a while. And but that's the reality of a regulated market. And we help with that by saving operators tons of money on taxes. Every city or county has an average of a 7.6% gross revenue tax. That's statewide. That's the average. Both of our campuses have a 0% revenue tax.
And you call them campuses really because, I mean, forever learning there. That every aspect of this game now has been already, just touched, and we're having to learn step by step. But you guys have cut out the fucking trial and error out of it, and you guys have the fundamentals in place.
Yeah, I mean, people don't realize how long it takes to get zoning in place and development agreements, conditional use permits. Some of these cities, they have the zoning in place, but each individual property has to apply for a conditional use permit, which can take 6, 8, 12 months and cost you $100,000 in legal fees. We've done all that. We've cut all the red tape. The CUPs are done. Development agreements are in place. We've locked in the tax rates, which are 0% for 5 years. Even after that, it can only go up the consumer price index. So we've thought of all the stuff that I know that's important to operators because I was one in multi-states and internationally. I know how big of a headache this is. So we knocked down all those barriers for them. But we are picky about who we do business with. You know, we're very proud of the brands that we bring in from other states and here from California. But you need money. Like you said earlier, this is a totally different market now. And it's, if you can't put together a pro forma and hire a CFO and, know how to present yourself and put together a PPM, it's maybe not the market for you, but that's what it takes nowadays.
So now how does the process start? Now, you reach out to you folks through Canna-Hub and you can set up a meeting. But what is the step-by-step process with you guys?
Typically, they come in through the website or they hear about us on an interview like this or something. So we get a lot of inbound calls, and they get vetted. A lot of them.
How do you weed through all that bullshit?
There's a lot of it, man. I think maybe 1 out of 50 inbound leads makes it to the point where I'll find out about it or I get involved with it. It's okay. I mean, we just hear from a lot of people that like just want to get in the weed game. It's like. There's a lot of calls like that. But
how many of these people have actually touched a plant in their life, or how many are just investors wanting to get in for the first time?
Well, there's a good percentage of them that have been growing for a long time and think that they can go from growing in their garage to growing on scale, but they don't have any money to do it. So there's a lot of those calls. But there's at the same time there's a lot of operators that call from out of state that want to expand into California because it's the biggest market in the world. Period. So everybody wants their piece. We like to do business with people that have some experience in doing it in a regulated fashion. But there are some really good brands here in California that I think that'll make it based on brand equity or value. But the market is changing. The reset button has got hit. If you can put together some money, now is the time to grab market share. It's the guys that make moves now.
If you've got your ducks in a row and you're ready to work with a partner that actually has the entire foundation set, then Canna-Hub's your place.
Yeah, I mean, if you have the option to be with us and you have no reason to go anywhere else,
now,
you're wasting money.
Let's talk testing for a minute because it's all cool if you get your setup and your foundation set up, but if you don't have the testing and you're not able to actually get things at an accessible means, then all this hustle and money you spend is in vain. So what have you done to put the testing and the compliance in the forefront?
Well, it's a couple things. First off, we call them campuses, but they're secure sites. I mean, they're more secure than any federal building or courthouse. These are very restricted access sites. And so security is a big concern for a lot of these guys, and we eliminate a lot of the need for security internally for them. They all still have their own internal security, but us providing perimeter and access control is a huge savings for them. But on top of that, we have on-site testing. We have a third-party lab on-site that's in, I think, 5 other states, one of them being Illinois, so a lab I've done business with as an operator. So then we have operators like Cresco Labs that's in 5 states, just went public. So we have some real legit operators, and having a lab on site is a huge savings for people because normally you're not going to send every single sample to the lab. You're going to wait until you have a dozen of them and do one transport because it costs you money to transport it to the lab. So having it right there where somebody can walk it over is a big deal. It saves time and money. But then security, the collaboration between operators, we're already seeing that. Operators on site doing business with each other. So it's the synergies, the economies of scale, and the collaboration is really cool.
And you guys are doing it for all the right reasons. Again, like it's always good talking to you. But let's talk about like where your passion for this cannabis came from, and making the switch into this game.
I mean, I've smoked weed since I was 12, 13 years old, I think. I've just always believed that I think that everybody uses it medicinally. Even if you use it recreationally, you use it for a reason. It makes you happy. It makes you feel good. It makes you sleepy. It makes you hungry. Makes you horny, whatever it does, you smoke it for a reason, and it's to cure something that ails you. So everybody uses it to medicate in some way, I think. So I've always thought that. I'd probably be on Ritalin or some ADD medication or something if I didn't smoke weed.
Or drinking shots of medicated barbecue sauce.
Exactly. But the way I look at it, alcohol is the only thing that's ever really gotten me in trouble. Cannabis, I've never done anything I regretted because I was stoned, ever. Yeah. So, yeah, I just believe in it at the plant, big time. But I also believe in some regulation. I do believe that if you're selling it as medicine or selling it commercially, it needs to be clean.
Right.
Period. And, and I'm a libertarian. I'm not big on government regulations, but I do believe that, you know, if you're making money on something, it should be pure. You shouldn't be worried about putting pesticides in your body. Exactly. But the government goes too far a lot of times. And
not only that, your local grower goes too far. So let's talk about, like, really how has things changed? The cannabis in the dispensaries has to be clean. The cannabis on the street is probably the dirtier of the two.
Oh, absolutely. That's always been the way. I mean, I'm surprised, frankly, I've been impressed, I should say, with how quickly California cleaned up. If you would have tested California cannabis a year and a half ago, 95% would fail testing. Seriously. I was really worried that it was going to take growers, it was going to be really hard for them to convert and not use pesticides. So either there's a lot of really crooked labs out there passing people, or California's done a really good job of converting and growing without.
Or a good mix of both.
Yeah, I mean they've busted a few labs already.
You saw that. We don't mind throwing them out there. You've been good at calling it like you see it too, and I know you never throw them out on the air or anything, but there is some questionable dealings going on out there. And
well, it's methodology with the labs. There's not a huge amount of definition as to how the process is done for the test, and there's lots of tricks that you can play. You can break the same nugget into two and send it to two labs and get wildly different results. And it's a lot. It has to do with cleaning machines too, but it's in heavily regulated states like Illinois, you don't see those games played really. New York, and they'll clean it up. California will get there, but it's just a big market, guys. And people don't realize when they first pass a law and they first implement it, they haven't got it all figured out. Yeah. There's going to be holes. There's going to be things that need to be changed, and that's just how regulation is. And it sucks, but it's the reality of the cannabis industry. We're over-regulated to a degree, but look how fast it's moving now. I mean, the industry's not being stopped at this point.
You guys got a kitchen up there?
All of every single manufacturer we have, I think, has a commercial kitchen.
Nice.
So there's a lot of chef licenses out there. People haven't really even stepped into the kitchens and done their thing yet.
There's some guys putting some serious loot into their manufacturing build-outs.
Yeah, we need to have like a cannabis chef job fair just through your guys' stuff. You guys have the opportunities out there.
Yeah.
There is, man. You know, brands are obviously big, but a lot of that's going to be determined over the next 24, 36 months, I think.
Well, we have to take one more commercial and play one more song and pay one more bill, and then we're going to be back with Canna-Hub, and we're going to give away a magic butter machine.
DFZradio.com.
Kush got me fired up. It got me fired up. Dooney. Perk got me gone. I don't know what's on my mind. Ain't no way I'm coming down. Where you at? I'm on cloud 9 and I'm fucked up. Yeah, you know I'm out my brain. Roll it up, light it up. Yeah, you know I pack that flame. Yo, now I'm fired up. Oh, I be fired up. Perk got me fired up. It got me fired up. Yo, I be fired up. Oh, I be fired. Tell 'em, gone and fired up. Man, gone and fired up. Hold up. Let me go and roll one up. If I roll up 2, I'm stuck. If I roll one more, I'm fucked. Feeling like I'm off on a spaceship. Ain't no squares in my circle. Smoke this and I bet you a shapeshift. I'm so turned up when I burn out. You know I'm about to burn up. Go ahead and roll a perp up. This shit be the truth like I'm smoking on Sojourner. I'm fired up. Baby mama got me tied up. But I ain't tripping when she get the sipping. She'll fall asleep and I'm wide up. Wide awake and I'm about to creep up on the yellow freak. We done fucked around and smoke the G. Her lips on me like she smoking me. Smoking that. Chronic sack. Back to back. Perp looking like another shade of black. I'm fired up and I'm faded, Jack. Perp got me gone. I don't know what's on my mind. Ain't no way I'm coming down. Where you at? I'm on cloud 9 and I'm fucked up. Yeah, you know I'm out my brain. Roll it up, light it up. Yeah, you know I pack that flame. Yo, now I'm fired up. Oh, I be fired. Perp got me fired up. It got me fired up. Yo, I be fired up. Oh, I be fired. Tell 'em, gone and fired up. Man, gone and fired up. Okay, well I'm loaded. LOADED, I'm scoping for another bad bitch. If it ain't a bad bitch, then I'm ducked off somewhere smoking. Floating, I know you want some, but you can't get this. Exclusive shit got me so lifted, and I'm running up trees like it's Christmas. But it ain't dope. Never ever smoke with a lame hoe. One less she talking about giving brain or letting my niggas run the train, ho. Yeah, I'm on the track and I'm doing damage. Sack after sack, don't know how I'm standing. Stay with trees like a nigga camping. You shooting threes, I'm out here slamming. Dunking on niggas. Game time, 24/7, I claim mine. Money too long, guarantee. If you wanna get down, you better have the same grind. Smoking lime, call it Kush, no Reggie Miller or Reggie Bush. Step back, take a second look. You Captain Crunch, I'm Captain Kush. Perk got me gone, I don't know what's on my mind. Ain't no way I'm coming down. Where you at? I'm on cloud 9 and I'm fucked up. Yeah, you know I'm out my brain. Roll it up, light it up. Yeah, you know I pack that flame. Pack that flame. Yo, now I'm fired up. Oh, I be fired up. Perk got me fired up. It got me fired up. Yo, I be fired up. Oh, I be fired. Tell 'em, gone and fired up. Man, gone and fired up.
DFCRadio.com.
Hi, and welcome to Non-Specific Hydro.
Yeah, hey, I have a buddy of mine that was telling me about a great additive.
Okay, do you remember the name?
Yeah, his name's Steve. He's a good buddy.
No, the product.
No, he told me it was a super concentrated organic enhancer. Comes in a yellow bottle.
Well, it sounds like he's talking about Floralicious Plus from General Hydroponics.
I don't think that was the name, but he also told me it was a vegan bioplant stimulator that contained vitamins, plant sugars, amino acids, seaweed extract.
Yeah, that would be General Hydroponics Floralicious Plus.
I don't think that's it, man. He told me it was something like Dora Vicious Flush or something, and he said it was like an organic supplement that could also be used in vegging or flowering, and it was compatible with hydro soil and cocoa.
Yes, that would be General Hydroponics Floralicious Plus.
Oh, hey, man. I just remembered what it's called. It's Floralicious Plus.
Oh, good. I was drawing a blank.
Floralicious Plus from General Hydroponics. Ask for it by name.
DFCRadio.com.
General Hydroponics.
Yeah. Young F. Yeah. I knew you was mine the first time I gripped you. So many others on the menu, but I had to have you. In case you ever snapped, I had to. One on the side, one just to ride.
We're back. We're getting lit in the studio, Farm to Table Cannabis. Want to give a big thank you out to our guests.
Where did the time go?
Well, I don't know. An hour. We might have to take the show to 2 hours now.
Quick. Yeah.
Ivan and Manja Ganja.
Thank
the
you for
Woods
having
Kitchen.
us.
Thank you guys for coming in. Honored to talk to you guys. Your food's amazing.
Thank you.
I'm lit from microdosing. I never do that often. That means I ate a lot of your food and took shots.
Non-stop.
Let's take a caller real quick.
All right.
We got Chris calling from Barfon. Where are you from? Where are you from, Chris?
Carson.
Carson. That's what's up, man. So you are our winner tonight. You're going to take away the magic butter machine. So big ups to you. Do you do any cooking at home?
I'm at home with my guys right now.
No. Do you do any cooking at home with cannabis?
Oh yeah, I just made some. What's that called? Yesterday I made some simple syrup.
There you go. Attaboy. You can make some drinks out of that and shit too. So you're going to
yeah.
take home our magic butter machine. You got a question before we go off the air?
I've been watching you guys on the show, and I've been looking it up, and I just happen to see it.
Perfect
But I'm
timing.
looking forward to it, man.
Hell yeah. Well, you're going to call back in and let us know what you made with it, all right?
I might make some more simple syrup. It's easy.
Attaboy. Hey, so you send me your information on Instagram, and we'll get you that magic butter machine sent out to you. Who's hooking you up every Wednesday night with the sickest products and the edible reviews? Yeah. We got to work on that. All right. Later, Chris from Carson.
All right, man.
All right. Peace.
I think he's been on that syrup
hydro
today.
chef. Tim's on that syrup.
Yeah, he on that syrup.
Speaking of that shit, I think the sauce got to me, guys.
That was delicious.
I think I finally got lit.
I enjoyed the shot. I thought it was good.
I'm going to do it through my nose next time. Barbecue sauce up my nose. So Tim, what's coming up for you in 2019?
Oh, wow. Some big things. We might be listing soon by the end of the year. Not for sure yet, but yeah, and we just we're now making public that one of our properties is in an opportunity zone, which is something Trump put in the budget, where underserved communities, economically challenged communities, if you invest in certain areas in California, you don't have to pay tax on capital gains. So this is something that got snuck into the last budget, and it's huge. And it happens that one of our campuses is in an opportunity zone. So anybody that invests in that campus doesn't have to pay capital gains tax.
Another reason why they need to reach out to Canna-Hub.com.
Yeah,
Talk to the boys over there, Canna-Hub.
And that applies to the operators, too. Anybody that invests in operators in the campus, if it's capital gains, they don't have to pay capital gains tax on it.
Get into the industry, get compliant,
Listen up.
stick on with regulations, and be a part of one of a winning team on a winning campus. So shout out to Tim. Thank you so much for coming through, Canna-Hub. Gus, thank you for keeping us lit. I see you over there keeping those fingers busy, rolling. Ivan, Ann, would you guys like to give a shout out to anybody?
You know, I think we'll just sign off by saying thanks for having us. And we have a lot of fun events coming up in 2019 that we announce those events on our Instagram. So check us out at Manja Ganja or Wood's Kitchen, because our product line is coming on, and our sauces we're excited to be launching this month.
Fantastic. Well, we appreciate you guys coming on.
Thanks for having
DFZ Radio, Farm to Table Cannabis at the Heavy Tea Grow Show's coming up next. Stay tuned. Stick around and call in. You can win. DFZradio.com.
Yeah, I knew you was mine the first time I gripped you. So many others on the menu, but I had to have you.
So high, rolled up that hydro make me feel fine. Rolled up that hydro make me feel fine. Cook up that hydro make me feel high. Feeling so high. Rolled up that hydro make me feel fine. Rolled up that hydro make me feel fine. Cook up that hydro make me feel high. Feeling so high.